Good morning students again. I hope you have studied saw all my videos of previous classes. In the last 6 videos we covered the chapter number 1, that is federalism, that is power sharing. Chapter number 2, that is federalism. Now the same chapter is under progress, that is chapter number 2, federalism. The last video I explained that in India the introduction of Panchayat Raj Bill is really a great step towards the decentralization of the government. I explained you decentralization is nothing but distribution of powers into various levels of the government. That is called decentralization. Centralization of power. In a dictatorship form of government, you can see centralization of power. That king or a dictator controls power under single-handedly and he is not ready to decentralize his power. So democracy, the major feature of a democracy is decentralization of power. We studied India prior to 1992 and after 1992. After 1992, the introduction of Panchayat Raj Bill in the constitutional amendment made it very clear that now it's mandatory or compulsory to conduct regular, I repeat, regular Panchayat election, that is once in 5 years. Now let us study the topic. Changes what we can see after 1992. Changes after introduction of Panchayat Raj Bill. After introduction of Panchayat Raj Bill, several changes are introduced. The points are given here. What is the first change introduced? That earlier in the sense prior to 1991, conducting elections for local self-government was not mandatory, was not compulsory. So prior to 1992, when the state government feel that there is no need to conduct election, they used to give an excuse of shortage of fund, absence of funds. But after 1992, now it is constitutionally mandatory, compulsory to hold regular election to the local bodies. Now once in 5 years, it is compulsory to conduct elections in the Panchayat level. This is a one major change which we can see after introduction of Panchayat Raj Bill. The second, in local self-government, seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and other backward castes. In India, we had a history of exploitation on the basis of caste. If you study the life history of Dr. Ambedkar, definitely you will come across several instances where Dr. Ambedkar suffered due to the caste discrimination. Economically, socially backward caste, or those are very poor, maybe because of their lack of educational background. Now in India, it is compulsory that scheduled caste and scheduled tribe means good number of seats should be reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in local self-government. Now what do you mean by reservation of seats? Reservation of seats means if a seat is reserved for a particular community or a caste, then only people belongs to that caste can contest for election. Let us take an example. Bijapur local constituency, that is Bijapur Lok Sabha constituency, not local. Bijapur Lok Sabha constituency is reserved for SC candidates. So as a result, from last 3 tenure, that means last 15 years, the people who are contesting for MP seats from Bijapur, they should belong to the scheduled caste. So reservation ensures the people belong to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe definitely come forefront, or they also become the major element of decision making. So in local self-government, seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and OBC, that is other backward caste. participation of women in local self-government. Now it is compulsory that 1/3 of seats are reserved for women. Means in Panchayat Raj, not only in Panchayat but in Executive Council. Executive Council means every Panchayat got standing committee, action committee, executive committee. Means once the members are elected from different political parties, these members once again reconstitute among various committees. These committees will take the decision related to the development of that panchayat. That's why it's called executive committee. So at least 1/3 of positions reserved for women. So this is also a mandatory, or this is a common scene after 1992. Moving to fourth. Now just passing a rule or passing a law is not final, because there should be constitutional authority. Constitutional authority means there should be an authority which got constitutional power to implement the policy. So according to that, now every state government in India got its own state election commission. So state election commission regulates the election process of panchayat and municipal corporations. So to ensure the smooth conduct of Panchayat Raj Bill in every state in India, there is State Election Commission. Moving on, the fifth point. Now, the success of any level of government purely depends on the funds availability. You may be reading in the newspaper or you may be watching on TV that from last 2-3 months the government is facing financial crunch because of the lockdown. Now when the government is facing financial crunch, government cannot implement the rules, regulations or developmental projects, mainly developmental projects. So the state government are directed to share a good amount of funds. The state government should share some power as well as revenue to the local bodies. So panchayat should be given enough funds by the state government so that panchayat can definitely implement developmental tasks. So to smooth conduct of election commission, what was organized, also what was introduced, that is state election commission. And further, the state government was asked to give revenue or money as well as power. Move on to the next. Now, at present, we have 3 levels of local self-government: Jilla Parishad, Taluk Panchayat, and Village Panchayat. So, what is the last unit of Indian administration? That is Village Panchayat. Now, very interesting fact we have to understand here. In India, the participation of people is highly involved, or the participation or involvement of people is more after 1992. Take for example, now it is a duty of every panchayat to arrange Gram Sabha. Now what is Gram Sabha? Gram Sabha is nothing but people belong to a particular panchayat on a designated or on a particular date. They all come together with the help of panchayat secretary, panchayat member, and they all sit together and discuss what are the funds available for that particular village, as well as how to spend the money. How to spend the money in the sense, a panchayat may have several demands: construction of roads, dams, canals, lot of things. Now what they will do? They will prioritize which is more important. These are all done in Gram Sabha. So purpose of Gram Sabha is involvement of even a common man in the decision making process. So we can also see municipalities and municipal corporations. Municipal corporations are generally found in a cities or in an urban area. Okay, municipal corporation and municipalities. Now, who is the head of a municipal corporation? Municipal corporation head is generally mayor. Mayor is municipal head corporation. Okay, let us conclude this chapter. Before conclusion of this chapter, briefly I explain once again. We studied about meaning of federalism. So when I say meaning of federalism, the meaning should come to your brain. We studied about types of federalism. How many types are there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, only 2. That is coming together federation and holding together federation. We also studied about examples for coming together federation and holding together federation. Further, we studied about features of federalism. Then we studied how federalism is implemented in India. In that we studied division of states, language policy, center-state relations. All these points we have studied, and finally we studied about introduction of Panchayat Raj Bill. Let us conclude the chapter. The new system of local self-government is the largest experiment in a democracy conducted anywhere in the world. Now, if you take population as a criteria, largest country in the world is China. But China is not a democratic country. China is a communist country. So, which is the largest democratic country in the world is naturally India because of the population. Now, let us see. Can you imagine Norway, Sweden, Germany, okay, Portugal, Spain, all European countries, put together all these European countries, they may not be equal to 4 to 5 states in India. Russia is a huge, geographically big country, but the population of Russia is not even equal to Uttar Pradesh. Okay. So imagine in a country like India, implementation of Panchayat Raj Bill is the greatest democratic exercise. That is what we are explaining about. It is the largest experiment of a democracy. If you Google, then you will get the population of certain countries of Europe. 30 lakhs, 35 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs. For your surprise, in India, we have 36 lakh elected representatives. Imagine, elected representatives of the country is more than many of the European countries. That is a great success of India. So there are now about nearly 36 lakh elected representatives in panchayats and municipality. The number is bigger than the population of many countries in the world. So thus, the idea of federalism may be responsible for the smooth and better administration. Now, I conclude why we are not followed unitary. Unitary, I explained to you what is unitary. Unitary system of government is nothing but one government controlling the nation. In a unitary system of government, we cannot find state government. There may be a local government. England is an example for unitary. America is an example for coming together federation. Now, India, we made a difference here that we neither followed the federalism idea of America nor we followed the idea of unitary system of Britain. What India is very intelligently, the constitution makers made India as a semi-federal, that is called quasi-federal. Semi-federal in the sense, in the normal times, the government of India works as a federal model. But in case of national emergency, in case of financial emergency, in case of state emergency, for example, during Indira Gandhi's government, national emergency was implemented in India according to the constitution. Introduction of national emergency, what happens? When national emergency is introduced in the country, then central government is empowered to cancel the state governments and control single-handedly with the help of military. President of India will control India. This is what the feature of unitary form of government. That means when there is a crisis, India will turn into unitary form of government if the government decides. But in normal days, India will run as a federal form of government. So this is what we are seeing. In India, we can see unique blend of federal features as well as unitary features. That's why India is called as semi-federal or quasi-federal. So with this, I completed 2 chapters. Now go through the chapters, read the chapter, and very important, exercise questions. There are many exercise questions. Questions are too big, too large. So read the questions 2-3 times carefully. If you are not able to understand, then solve the question and answers or complete the question and answer exercise, because this is very important. Once you completed question and answers, then definitely your understanding level of the chapter will definitely enhance. So in the next class, I will start the chapter number 3, that is democracy and diversity. Thank you.